name is Kelly Wolf, and you're watching Cove's epilogue. Let's get into it.
He's grown so much. Even as a baby, he looked impressed. He looked unimpressed. Sighing loudly, Cove crossed his arms. His power grew worse, and it only put a wide grin on your face. He was a perfect match for the younger self, captured on ink in the page. My baby boy was a very quiet child. I probably had a lot on my mind. That never changed. What are you thinking about? Nighttime versus nap time? Cove scowled. Meanwhile, you and Kara couldn't help but crack up in fits of laughter. After breakfast, the photo showcase. After breakfast in the photo showcase, everyone decided to stick around. Hanging around Mr. Holden's house, turning to taking a walk around the neighborhood. Then, lunch, you switched over to your mom's condo. It was a really good time enjoying each other's company, but eventually the sun began to set, and there was nothing else to delay your friends and family from going home. Inside your mom's house, the goodbyes you'd been raised in. Inside your mom's home, the home you'd been raised in, the group was taking their time saying their goodbyes. It was tough for you, your family, and your friends. You knew what was weighing on the mood. It may be some time before you'd see one another again. It was a pleasure having you all here, and you're welcome to come around again, anytime. Ma wrapped an arm around Mom with a light chuckle. Mom leaned her head gently into her wife, and they both beamed.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I know we're all adults with our own hectic lives, but we do appreciate the time taken to visit. Nodding, Liz crossed her arms. She leaned up one hip to the side while her lips curled teasingly. You make it sound like this was such a struggle. Some of these people still live here. It was a vacation for everyone else. Even so, it was very thoughtful, and I hope everyone has a safe trip home. Kara clapped a hand on Cliff's shoulder. He was puzzled as she leaned in, so he could hear. That means you too. It's dangerous crossing the street. Remember to look both ways. Hey now! Yeah, good luck with all the important grown-up things I'm sure you'll have to do when you're all out of here. Definitely! I'll give some updates next time something exciting happens, or something lame, so I can vent about it. How nice. I'm glad we won't be forgetting the little people. Never, ever. I'll keep in touch too.
Very
better.
nice.
Well, me, Randy, and going far, so we can keep an eye on the town for the rest of you. Nothing will get past us. Right, we'll make sure everything is okay. No need to worry at all.
Thanks.
That's kind of you. Miranda and Terry gave each other pleased smiles, already committing to their self-appointed task. Terry scratched the back of his head, wearing a pensive look. It's always sad when I have to leave this town. It happens too often. But at least there will be people looking out the sunset bird. That makes me feel better about it. After a pause, Mr. Holden gave the younger folks a thumbs up.
Great. Great.
There we go. That's so great. You've got a lot to be proud of, and a lot of looking forward to. Well said, Cliff. I'm thankful that I've been able to witness the growth you've undergone all these years. You've each matured beautifully. Cliff was touched by his friend's words and struggled to come up with something to follow. Yeah. It's been good seeing everyone. No one had taken a step yet, and you couldn't put this off any longer. It was time to say goodbye. Oh, great. Now we've been left with Ricky. I'm going to just say bye for us. I'll miss you.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. I'll miss you too, kiddo. Very much. Mom wrapped you in a big hug. Then you felt the weight of another person in her arms. You realized this girl pulled into it too. We'll be back soon enough that you'll be kicking us back out. Right? We'll be back soon enough that you'll be kicking us back out. I thought it said we'll be back so soon enough. Okay. I don't think that would happen. I like to see you try to push it, though. It'll be fine. See how you both tighter for another moment before letting go. Afterwards, there was more sniffling and hugs. A lot of hugs. Then people started trailing out onto the street, seeing others off. Your friends and family got into their cars and left the neighborhood. By the time things had soured, you realized that the sun had set. Earlier, you and Cove decided on having car pick both of you up. Neither of you wanted to borrow your parents after such a long day. It would be a little while longer before it would be there, though. It was the right choice. As both sets of parents show you worry lots, the four seemed to be ready to call it a night. It didn't take either of you or Cove very long to assure them that it was okay to head home and go to bed. With one more round of good nights and goodbyes, your family returned to the condos. Then, the only people left on the street were you and Cove. Cove closed his eyes, humming happily, while he waited for it to pass. He stared up at the sky. Though it was comforting, but suddenly your face scrunched up, amused. Something was wrong. Something that made you feel somewhat empty. Then it dawned on you. Your wind chime wasn't here anymore. The familiar feeling of the wind washing over the street just wasn't right without that familiar tune. But you'd taken it with you in the move. With a bittersweet smile, you knew you'd be able to hear it again when you got home. Cove's hands were in his pockets. His shoulders were relaxed when he caught your attention with the tilt of his head.
So...
Can you guess what I'm thinking? That moment you were in the neighborhood you grew up in. That moment you were in the neighborhood you grew up in, together, with some time to spare. You rolled your shoulders back, pretending to crack a few of your knuckles. An amused look fidgeted on Cove's face while he observed you silently. Could you perhaps be thinking that the fireflies are out now?
Right.
Right. Do you want to go to the poppy hill before we leave? Always. There was an eager bounce in your step as you and Cove crossed over towards the hill behind your mom's house. Side by side, you stared out at the view in awe. As you imagined, the hill was dotted with glowing firelight. It perfectly reflected with the memories of childhood that held closely in your mind. Cove sighed contently, seeing them across the hill, weaving around the blades of grass and stars above. Cove cocked his head to the side, but her expression twisted playfully. When he met your eye, you were about to prod him about what was on his mind when he took off running. I bet I'll catch one fast. Oh, it's on. Picking up a bit of down leaves, you bolted in the opposite direction. After a few fireflies that captured your attention, the first one flitted into your range and you dove for it. Did you have one? It escaped between your fingers, but that didn't dim a second of your fun. You shook your head, trying to find your next target. Next one, I can feel it. Unless you're feeling my future victory. Out the corner of your eyes, you watched Cove get spun nearly around, following one that was staying just out of reach. Chuckling, you crouched down low, touching the air. The pursuit of fireflies continued until a handful had been caught. Cove crossed over to you with a bright grin that could rival every twinkling bug and star around you. Tucked between both of his hands, Cove carefully held a firefly. The corner of his mouth twisted, for a few giggles escaped him. And you knew that feeling well. The way the firefly would buzz around, tickling the palms of your hands. Cove's eyelids fluttered open me and yours. He watched you with the complicated mix of emotions. Heavy with the weight of 15 years of history, of memories. It's a really relief that I got to see the fireflies. This trip wouldn't have felt complete without it. Yeah, I think you're right. You spotted another firefly glowing to your eye level before looping up on top of Cove's head. It landed right on his hair and he smirked. What? Yeah, a very tiny firefly hat. I do. Before you could answer, the firefly took off and it disappeared into the night. You gave it a tiny wave goodbye. Well, that didn't last very long. That's too bad. I'll remember them as my training hat forever. You too. Taking a deep breath, Cove held your eye. He appeared to be conflicted about where he wanted to say next, and he waited for him to make his choice. It's so strange not to live here anymore. The rest of my life, neither of us were ever really away from Sunset Bird. Well, unless one of us went on a trip somewhere. Or when both of our families took a trip together. Remember? Oh my god. Remember that? He chuckled, losing himself to fond reminiscing. You couldn't help but match his grin. I like that road trip a lot. Though, I don't think we could all squash in an RV again. We're way too big. Laughing, Cove shook his head. His brow creased the longer he sat with thoughts spinning in his brain. Those visits back then with my mom. I remember what a big deal they felt like then. To be away from here without anyone else coming for a whole few weeks. Oh, how little they knew. Hey, what did you used to tell your mom about me when you were on those trips to see her? Thrown off the little kilter, Cove hadn't been expecting that question at all, both of his eyebrows raised, and a part of you wondered if somehow you spoke gibberish instead. Honestly, I've been wondering about it since I was 13. Kara always kept the details to herself, and you never said a word either. Mostly I tell her about the times we hung out, and since you were obviously there, then things happened. I did have to tell you too. That's true. But, I would be really enthusiastic about it when I was telling her what happened because, you know, you're an important friend to me. The time we spent together was important. So I definitely would have been embarrassed if my mom told you any of that. I really appreciated it that she kept it to herself. Oh. I think that's nice. All of it. Thanks. Thank you for telling me. Finally, Cove fired his hands and released the firefly back into the hill. It flew up around his face before dying away into the sky, but your gaze was fixated on him. There was a touch of wistfulness in his features as he watched the bug disappear into the night. It wasn't until Cove turned his attention back to you that his demeanor warmed. Okay, I'm ready to go now. Yeah. You took one last look at everything around you. Damn it, you messaged me again. You took one last look at everything around you, breathing in the summer air. The ocean salt tickled your nose. Take care of the hills for us, little fireflies. Take care of the hills for us, little fireflies. Trailing a few steps behind Cove, you looked back down the hill. You spotted your childhood home immediately. I'm grateful we could come home here and see how things are without us. It was nice.
Yeah.
It really was. With Cove right there, alongside you, you made your way down the hill. With the same stars above trailing the way, you lost and Sunset Bird was closing out. You were lost in a dream, adrift in the current of your unconscious mind. Cove was there with you. His presence strong as your mind flitted from scene to scene, the logic of the conscious world melting around you. Something jolted you from your slumber, the visions you'd constructed slipping away, as even as you scrambled to catch them. It had been a good dream. You opened your eyes to an unlit, unfamiliar ceiling. The darkness permeated the room so thoroughly that you were sure it was still the middle of the night. As your eyes adjusted to what little light there was to catch on to, a smiling face cozied itself right above you. that he was. Good morning, Callie. The grin was bright enough to make it seem like the sun had risen after all. Please stop being a morning person. You simply could not cope with this much energy right enough in right now. Cove laughed at your response. Sorry. The words slipped so easily from his lips that you knew he did not feel sorry at all. You pulled the covers over your head. It was too early with this. With any luck, Cove might take your not-so-subtle hint and try again after you'd gotten a decent night's rest. But you were without luck, as Cove made no attempt to leave you be. Would you prefer me to wake you up by tapping on the window? No. Cove simply smirked, amused by his own wit.
Come on.
I mean, you really should have expected this was going to happen. Fine, jail me, because you called me more than once. Way more than once. I'm guessing you woke me up for some reason. Are you ever gonna let me know? Well, this is our last day here. Everyone might still be asleep, but if we get up now, we can at least see the neighborhood. Do you want to? Here we go, yet again. Cove only shrugged. Is that a yes or what? Okay, yeah, I'll come with you.
All right.
Great! Then he held out one of those hands to help you get up too. You held up both arms, wordlessly asking him to lift you up. Cove complied, crouching down to scoop you up gently. To scoop you up before gently setting you down again. Before you could head out, you and Cove needed to get dressed, so you did so quietly. The strangeness of the hour meant that your body seemed less coordinated than usual. Each article of clothing a new puzzle, but you managed it. The two of you were eventually ready to head out into the wide world. Dawn still hadn't broken when you left the hotel, yet it was easy enough to get right down into Sunset Bird. The journey was peaceful. You might have expected a sleep attempts to claim you once again, with the sky so dark, but Cove's excited energy was infectious. Morning was finally starting to come over Sunset Bird as you arrived, almost like the sun itself wanted to be there to welcome you. Cove turned towards you, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. Almost summer beach trip? You laughed, nodding to reassure him, as if there was any alternative now that you were here and he was looking at you so eagerly. Yeah, one more. You could have taken your time getting there, rolling under the morning sun, or you could have taken a short walk at a regular pace. And both of those would have been just right for some other occasion. But this time, without either of you saying a word, you and Cove set off sprinting. The two of you toured gleefully down the street towards the beach, as excitedly and ungainly as the kids you'd once been. You were laughing with joy at the absurdity of it all. Being here at the break of dawn, the boy who you'd once discovered on the nearby hill, who never completely grew up. As it was early, you did your best to keep the noise down. To the side, you saw Cove even covering his mouth, stifle his own giggles, similarly aware of how people sleeping in the condos around you. You thought of what the mean old not grandparents would have said if they could see you now. All you could do was continue running and stumbling down towards the beach, away from the residents and their sleeping occupants. Oh, jeez, it's bright. It was only a few minutes before you arrived on the expansive ocean shore. Cove kicked off his shoes and started right into the water, not stopping until his feet were entirely submerged and the wave tickled his ankles. You got into the water with him. After slipping off your shoes, you let the sea flow around you. It was cool against your skin, but not as cold as when the wave pulled back and your wet feet were exposed to the air again. The two of you stood there watching the sun continue to ascend over the horizon. Suns fell between you, until, finally, dawn had fully broken. Even then, Cove spoke in a whisper.
Wow.
Can't believe it's over. Well, you really sound like a kid again, he joked. A ghost of a smile crept over Cove's face, like the sun peeking out between clouds on an overcast day. The silence returned just for a second. I'm glad we came this morning, and that we came this whole visit back.
I'm so glad.
Oh, and now he's crying. Like a little crybaby he is. But more than anything, I'm glad for ending up in this town in the first place, where I got to grow up with a really nice neighbor. I wouldn't have wanted anything other in life. I'm most grateful for meeting you two. Cove looked over at you out of the corner of his eyes, not turning his face away from the sea. His expression was full of affection, from the gentle curve of his smile to his clear, content brow. As a stark contrast to the tears rolling down his cheeks.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. You counted yourself lucky, even though you were leaving now. This place had gifted you with so much you'd carry with you wherever life might take you. The memories you made, the lessons you learned, the people you'd built relationships with, you keep those pieces in your life, in Sunset Bird forever. You stood with Cove, watching the bright ray and swept over the last of the night's shadows away, until day truly arrived. The spirits were as high as the sun rose ever in the sky. The two of you had found yourselves meandering back to the neighborhood, straight and sandy feet, rolling down the path you had just done thousands of times before. This is where it all started. You were compelled to look at the exact spot you first encountered Mr. Holden. It's interjected on the curb. He wasn't like that anymore. Still, you couldn't forget the day it began. Just what you couldn't believe what an adventure led to. Things had never been the same since that moment, and you couldn't be happier for it. Your mental lingering on that meeting turned physical, causing you to stop in your tracks. It was only when you heard Cove's voice calling your name that you remembered where you were and realized what you'd done. And what a present it was. A shining sun, a clear blue sky, and Cove James Holden by your side. All the most natural things in the world. So, what's the next step? You watched Cove expectantly, waiting for him to guide you forward from here. There was a crinkle in his eyes as he laughed. It's up to you now. You're giving me too much power. Aren't you worried about getting into my head? Cove smirked, shaking his head.
It's okay.
Don't worry about it. I'm listening, so go ahead. His eyes met yours, holding your gaze. I believe in you, Callie. No matter how much time might pass, there were some things that you could count to be consistent. Cove, your family, his family, and all your other loved ones being there for you when you needed it. It was one of those things since the beginning, and for always. Knowing they were there, and you would never be truly alone, made the future look all that much brighter.